How's it going, everyone? I came across this video saying that, guys, this is still a good movie, in reference to Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, while I still enjoyed this movie after all this time, I think this is a bit of a frustrating mindset to have to look at, and you'll understand as we go along, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase and start the video right now.
Now that the dust has settled, what do you think of Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah, people have really swiveled their nipples and done a complete 180 on this movie. This comment section is just filled with contrarians who are saying that Deadpool and Wolverine all of a sudden is just a really mid-movie now.
Okay, maybe they changed their minds over time, which is not a bad thing. That's basic human nature to change your mind the more you think about something. I understand that thinking about something more may be offensive to you, and I'm very sorry that offends you. But I think many of us have the common sense to realize that you don't have to hold the same opinion that you've had in the past. That's such a weird angle to argue against their take. Who cares if they said something different in the past? Do you want someone to hold an opinion because it's well substantiated, or because it's consistent with what they've said in the past? I'd rather it be the former because, you know, that's more sincere reasoning, which for some reason you have an issue with.
This comment section is just filled with contrarians who are saying that Deadpool and Wolverine all of a sudden is just a really mid-movie now, despite everyone gassing it up and saying that Marvel is back, blah 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 blah. But for example, a lot of people here don't like the nostalgia bait or fan service aspect of the movie, and that the film was mostly style over substance, which doesn't make sense to me and makes me believe that some people just turn their brain off when watching this movie.
Dude, you literally get mad at people because they change their minds when they think about this movie. What are you talking about? Oh, people turned off their brains when watching this movie. You want them to turn off their brains because you don't want them to change their minds, which requires them to keep their brains on. Like, holy shit, what am I listening to? I also want to rewind real quick and take a look at some of these comments to see if he's even representing them fairly. There was so much fan service and nostalgia, it's okay, the plot/movie was very mid. Now, this isn't worded very well, but I assume this person means that there's so much fan service and nostalgia, rather than substance in the story. It's good, but it's highly overrated. 90% spectacle, 10% substance. So yes, this person is making that same point that I just inferred earlier. And also, this person is saying it's good. They're not even saying it's mid or anything, so I don't know why you're bitching at this person. It's a shame because Ryan Reynolds and the team really missed an opportunity to deliver a film worthy of both characters. The setup for why Logan is supposed to be a sympathetic figure sours everything from... Okay, so you didn't even let this person finish their comment, so...
And that the film was mostly style over substance, which doesn't make sense to me and makes me believe that some people just turn their brain off when watching this movie, which is fine to do. I did that with the Paw Patrol film, but I don't go around saying the movie was mid when I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to what made the movie lit.
I'm so lost at this. So do you want people to think about this movie or not? You say it's a bad thing for people to turn on this movie because they said it was good beforehand, but here you are saying use your brain when talking about this movie. Use your brain? The exact opposite of using your brain would be to stand by what you've said in the past just because you've said it in the past. The fact that you see an issue with challenging your own beliefs in the past tells me that you want people to turn off their brains. So genuinely, what do you want?
The cameos in the fan service, like, come on. We got Hugh Jackman in the comic-accurate Wolverine suit.
Wow, Hugh Jackman's in the comic-accurate Wolverine suit, so that's good storytelling. Like, what kind of argument is that? I mean, didn't people love the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit? That was a great suit, but guess what? That story is terrible. That's such a superficial thing to praise this movie for, and the fact that this is one of the only appeals you can make to people thinking more critically about this movie moving forward is quite telling, to say the least.
How is that not memorable or a visual treat?
I mean, again, that's just such a small thing. Oh, he's finally in a colorful suit. Okay. That doesn't make him a well-written character. That doesn't make it a well-written plot. Maybe you should start addressing the criticism in depth, instead of going by a few tweets you saw online.
When it comes to cameos, especially Blade, Gambit, and Elektra, all those guys played an integrated supporting role in the overall story.
An integrated supporting role in the overall story? None of these characters, outside of X-23, are actually pivotal to the story. You can replace them with any other characters that have similar power sets or whatever, and not much really changes about the movie. All that really changes is how excited people are when they show up. These specific characters are not crucial for the narrative, and that's not necessarily an issue because they don't have that much prominence in the story anyway, but that is not a good argument for why people should think this is a good movie. You're acting like they played this very important role in the story when they really didn't.
They carried a narrative forward that was engaging and funny.
What's the narrative? I'm so confused here. Tell me the story about Blade's character. Tell me the story about Elektra's character. Tell me the story behind Gambit's character. There's barely anything that you can tell me. And even in this movie with X-23, she tells you the backstory, you know, the aftermath of Logan making that sacrifice. But outside of that, we really don't get any other story with her character specifically. Like, it's good that she's there to help the other Wolverine. That does something to positively impact the story. But other than that, she really doesn't have much going for her, so what are you talking about? This is such a tiny part of the movie as a whole, and you're trying to use that to convince people that they shouldn't think it's mid or bad.
Besides, we're all fans. Why shouldn't we be serviced?
Nobody's saying fans shouldn't be serviced. They're saying that there should be substance alongside the fan service. The problem that they're mentioning is that the fan service is outweighing the substance. That's the criticism.
Like, as long as it's done with the purpose, like Deadpool Wolverine or Spider-Man No Way Home, then that's good fan service.
Okay, so first of all, these cameos barely served a purpose in Deadpool and Wolverine besides getting them to beat the bad guys. And for Laura's case, it's to motivate Wolverine. And second of all, Spider-Man No Way Home sucks, and I have a whole video on that if you want to check that out.
It's not like The Flash. And
I mean, it's not as bad as The Flash, but I think you can make arguments against all three of these projects. Obviously, we know the issues with The Flash. With Spider-Man No Way Home, that's a longer conversation. Just watch my video if you're interested in that. For Deadpool and Wolverine, while I wouldn't argue that Wolverine himself is a bad character as a whole, there's definitely elements that are just lazy. Like, he talks about his experiences with the X-Men and his Charles Xavier, but we don't see any flashbacks with them. Never. Nada. What we do see in terms of flashbacks are recycled footage from the Fox movies, including Logan, where he's an old-ass man. Like, how does that fit timeline-wise? He's an old-ass man in the past? You see how this comes across as lazy and how, again, the fan service is starting to outweigh the substance? And while I understand that a part of the narrative is him comparing himself to the other Wolverine, someone that was a legend, someone that he feels inadequate to live up to, a lot of the reason we care about this version of Wolverine is because it's Hugh Jackman, and we liked his character in the Foxverse. Everything regarding his backstory is not shown at all. Now, I'm not saying they need to show everything, right? It's actually kind of interesting to leave his killings up to the imagination, but his actual experiences with Charles Xavier and the other X-Men, all of that is not shown to us. There's nothing to connect to in that regard. So, yes, to some capacity, you can argue that the fan service of bringing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine back is outweighing the actual substance in terms of how his character is portrayed.
And also, when it comes to substance versus style, did you not see Deadpool wrestling with guilt and purpose while Wolverine confronts his past and learns to care again?
Yeah, the past that is conveyed through, again, recycled footage, one of which has him as an old-ass man, and connections to characters that we don't even see on screen. We don't see his versions of Cyclops, Jean, Storm, or Charles Xavier. We don't see any of that. He tells us about this, but that's telling, that's not showing us anything. Where's the substance in that? If anything, this at best just gets the job done. It tells us about the bad things in the past, and shows us how he moves forward from it. This is pretty much bare bones and not as substantial as you're making it out to be.
Did you not see Deadpool wrestling with guilt and purpose while Wolverine confronts his past and learns to care again? They found themselves in this movie and got a second chance at happiness through this movie.
Ooh, they found themselves. They got a second chance at happiness. Woo! That's wonderful. Now tell us how this was done effectively. Tell us where the substance behind this was, because all you've really done was mention ideas in the movie or themes in the movie. You didn't talk about why it was done effectively. You just said that things exist. And you can do this with any movie, including bad superhero movies. Wow, The Amazing Spider-Man shows Peter dealing with guilt. It shows him struggling with purpose. It shows him picking himself back up and becoming Spider-Man once again. You can do this flowery word salad with just about any superhero movie just to make it look good. That's not a compelling argument for why we should think this is still a good movie.
Is investing to me at least. But
it's investing to you. That's great. It's not investing to other people, and you didn't justify why they should be invested in it. You just said there's themes and ideas. That's such basic stuff. That's what every movie has.
On top of that, the violence was funny.
The violence was funny. Great. Some people didn't find it funny. What then? What do you tell those people, that they're wrong for not finding certain violence funny? It's a weird thing to say out loud.
The storytelling is meta.
The storytelling is meta, so I should think it's good now. Like, Seriously, what kind of argument is that? It's meta, therefore it's good? That statement has as much substance as saying the storytelling has fan service. The storytelling has action in it. The storytelling has mystery in it. That doesn't mean anything.
Violence was funny. The storytelling is meta. The chemistry between Reynolds and Jackman is intimate and invincible, and the film as a whole is more emotional than most of the previous and vanilla movies that came out before it.
That to me is insane. If I were to mention MCU movies that land harder in terms of emotion, I would first say the Iron Man trilogy. I would say the first Avengers movie, the Captain America trilogy easily, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Come on, man, you're saying this is one of the most emotional MCU movies? I mean, I guess to each their own, but damn.
And yes, I'll admit, it may not be as good as Deadpool 1 and 2, but this film, in my opinion, is not mid. It's great, it's fun, it's amazing. Hell, I'll say it, Deadpool and Wolverine is still cinema.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the way he says all of this, the arguments that he's making, and I don't like to throw this term lightly, and I honestly don't like to use it at all, but I'm gonna say this anyway. You're a shill. Genuinely, you're just a shill. Guys, why do you think this movie's bad now, or mid now? Why do you think lesser of this movie when you thought it was better beforehand? Like, assuming that's true, what a fucking stupid thing to say. You shouldn't think less of this movie because you thought it was better beforehand? You shouldn't use your brain and think more critically about it because of what you said beforehand? Like, that is such a stupid thing to say. That is just shill energy. You should think this movie is good because it has fan service moments. We should think this movie has substance because you named like a couple themes the movie has, and you don't talk about the execution. Wolverine has a comic book accurate suit now, so we should all clap and be joyful. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have fun chemistry, so I guess it's good now. Like, come on, man, you make it embarrassing for people who actually like this movie. I'm gonna say this right now, videos like this are anti-critical thinking. It's basically telling you, yeah, just chill for these corporations' movies, and yeah, don't think about it. If you thought it was good at first, well, that's too bad. Humans can't change. You can't change how you think about things. You can't change your perspective whatsoever. You have to still think it's good. Like, I'm sorry, that is just a pathetic mindset. And the whole condescending attitude that he has towards people who think less of this movie, it really isn't helping his case. And listen, I don't like to throw this around lightly, right? I don't like to say this about things that people think are good that I don't think are necessarily good. But I'm gonna say it anyway in this case. Just consume product and get excited for next product. And in case you're wondering, yes, I do have a Deadpool and Wolverine review coming up soon. You'll see some of my updated thoughts on the movie in that video. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and definitely consider subscribing. And check out some of my other stuff in the meantime if you're curious. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later, and goodbye.